Not Your Average Radio. Big homie Monski. I have a special guest in the house today. It is CeciliaTheMamacita live right here on Not Your Average Radio. What's up, girl?
Hey, what's going on, Monski? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing amazing. I'm just motivated to have you on. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to jump on Not Your Average Radio.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate that. I know you guys have been waiting. I'm here in full effect. I told you I'm an open book. So yeah, let's go ahead. I really love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. When I do the interviews, I always like kind of say like where I met you. You know what I mean? Like people that I've come across, I'm like, oh, I met you here. I met you there. So the first time I met you that I came across you was obviously when you were doing the B-side show, on Mondays. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know, again, I've always been into radio and I want to be a radio host. So I'm like, oh, I have to meet her. CeciliaTheMamacita, you know, she seems cool, this and that. I saw the videos. I don't know if this is just you being professional, but I was like, oh, you know, I had to like get myself to go up to you and be like, hey, how you doing? I'm Monski, this and that. And when I said, I'm Monski, you're like, oh shit, you're Monski. Like you knew who I was. And I was like, oh shit.
Yes.
I was like,
you know what? I always keep my eye on the game, and especially being in radio, and you know, and being a radio personality, you always got to kind of know who's doing what and what's hot. So I always keep out, and I always pay attention to who's grinding and who's on my timeline. So yeah, I saw you a few times doing something. I was like, okay, this guy's really doing some work. All right, let me go ahead and peep that out. So no, yeah, I'm really super cool. You can come up to me, say hi, you know, let's chop it up. Like I really love talking to people, you know. So I love the conversation we had the first time we met. You were just super cool.
That's what's up. You're making me blush over here. Good thing we're on radio.
I was like, dang, he's blushing right now. Okay.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so that's how we met. We met on the B-side show. She was dope. She was cool as fuck. She was like, hey, we're doing the listening party for the Be Real. Come down. I was like, holy shit, you know? So that was up, man. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Oh, yeah.
No problem. You know, I really think it's important, especially as Latinos and hip-hop, to support each other. So, you know, I did that with Be Real. I did his Dr. Green Thumb. I coordinated it. I got all the media there. People don't know, I put this amazing event together in less than 3 days. And, but it was really for the passion of Be Real. I grew up listening to Cypress Hill, and I've always been proud of him. And I know him now as a really good friend. And so anything I could do to help out, I was like, you know what, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get Dr. Green Thumb out. And that's when I saw you, and I was like, come down. Because it's important. It's important to support each other, and it's important to help each other. We're media outlets. We need to. We have to support our own.
Yeah, no doubt. And just by going over there, I met so many people. You know, I met Vanessa from Gaviota Tequila, the homegirl Kid Passion, Yessie Ortiz. You know, I took a picture with Dr. Green Thumb himself, you know, Be Real. And, you know, just so many people. So it was dope.
Oh, Yessie Ortiz, that's my sister. I love her. Like, it's so funny because me and Yessie, we were at KTLA today. She did an interview. She pushed the book. We're going to go back on. We're writing the book together. Our book's going to be coming out probably within a month. And it's something crazy because you've never had, you know, radio personalities. Some of them do write books, but you've never had two radio personalities from two competing stations in the same market come out and write a book together. So we're actually creating history.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, so thank you. There goes one of my questions.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry.
No, I know how it is. You're used to, you know, these probably the same questions over and over. But yeah, I did notice that. I'm not gonna lie. I got to do my homework on you, and I noticed that Yessie Ortiz and yourself are doing a book. When is that gonna come out?
The book's gonna be coming out. We don't have an exact release date, but I will tell you this: it should be coming out within the next month. It's so funny. Right before I jumped on the phone with you, maybe even an hour before, me and her were actually doing the final touches of the book tonight. But the book is actually about being a single woman in the city of Los Angeles and dating. So it's not a book that's going to change your life. It's a book basically like, Monski, you've probably been on a lot of, you know, crazy dates that you can talk about. I've been on some crazy dates. So it's really like, listen, we've been on some crazy dates. Let's just laugh about this and let's just share the stories. So because at the time we were single and we were dating and we just had these freaking crazy ass stories of these crazy ass dudes we were going out with that were giving us really, just weird excuses. And we went on some lame ass dates. And I was like, yo, we should write a book about this because we've been through some shit, Yessie. And she was like, you know what, we should. So we got a group of girls together in the entertainment industry. We did a focus group and we came out with this book. It's called What's in That Book. And it's for women, basically sharing stories, but also too, we have affirmations that are in the book that we help women. Not only do we share our stories, but we also try to inspire and still empower. So we do definitely want to leave our mark. And like I said, it's the first book for me and Yessie, and it's two females, two Latinas coming out together and writing this book. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's what's up. That's dope. Even though I'm, it's for females, I gotta cop that. I gotta see what douche stuff we
It's
do
so
as
funny
guys.
because let me tell you, when you open the book, there's a pledge. And it's because our book is just for females, and we put them up on game. And so the pledge is you got to read the pledge, and then you sign it, and the female has to pledge that they will not show this book to their man, because we don't want to put the men up on game. And it's so funny because the guys that I know, they're like, well, we're going to buy the book anyways. And I'm like, well, that's the goal, honey. Go buy the book.
Yeah. Hey, what was that movie with Steve Harvey and stuff? He was telling like.
Think like a man.
There you go. That's what. So
yeah,
is that
basically.
What you guys are doing the woman version? All right, I see.
The woman version of it. Yeah. So make sure you guys look out for that. You can always check my Instagram, CeciliaTheMamacita. You can check Yes's Instagram, Yes Ortiz, and we will have release dates coming up really soon. So just be aware that it's coming out within the next month.
There you go. That's what's up. That's dope. All right, so that's one of my final questions. Let's cross that one out. My first question that I have, and it's very interesting to me. I've always been interested in doing radio. I'm kind of interested how you got into doing radio. Obviously you're doing, you're on KDAY now and you're doing big things, hosting the Be Real party. But I'm kind of curious, and I'm sure the listeners are. How did you start into radio? What made you get into radio?
You know what? I was I was at a station called LATV, and LATV was like an MTV for Latinos. So I was doing television. I had mentioned that I was from the IE, Riverside, San Bernardino County. I was from the IE, and a radio program director from the IE heard about me, called me, and offered me a job. I was like, what? I've never done radio before, but let's do it. I can do it. And so I started doing radio, and I found it as a new challenge. So I was like, I'll do it. I didn't really take it that serious, but you know what? I ended up falling in love. I fell in love with radio. I fell in love with the craft. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with just being able to talk to people directly. So, fast forward to 12 years later, and now I'm in, the number 2 market in the whole United States at a station that is it's a legendary station. KDAY, the first station in the world. It's the first hip-hop station in the world.
All right. Okay. I didn't know that. See, we're learning stuff right here. We're learning stuff right here.
That's why we say the legendary KDAY. That's why we say, 935 KDAY, where hip-hop was born. Because we had started KDAY. KDAY used to be AM 1580. So it was the first station. So, I started in television. I went to radio. I've been in radio for 12 years. I'm now making a full turn, though. Everything comes back around, and I'm starting to do television again.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. So how did you get into television?
When I was doing LATV, I went to school to be a writer. I wanted to be a writer. And I started doing that, and then I started coordinating photo shoots for a magazine that I was writing for, and I liked it. So I was like, let me coordinate these photo shoots. I started up my own agency, and it was a production agency. We were doing photography, we had dance, we did management, and then so I would travel with some of the talent. To be honest with you, one day I was like, you know what? I'm more talented than these people. So I said, I want to be on television. And I ended up working for a publicist for a little while. Her name was Reina Trevino. She does publicity for like the Latino entertainment industry. I met this girl named Trisha Cruz from LATV, and she was like, you're perfect. We should get you on the network. So I went, and I'm going to be honest, I interned for a few months, and then I ended up getting hired, and I started doing television from there. And everybody was like, Cece, you've never done TV before. And I'm like, so what? I can do it. I'm really fearless when it comes to doing something new. Like, I jump into it because I'm not afraid to make a fool of myself. I'm not afraid to fall down. Because at least I can walk around saying, hey, I tried. If I couldn't do it, at least I tried to do it. So I jumped into it, and it became a full-time thing. And then radio saw me, and radio picked me up, and then I ended up leaving television, staying in radio for 12 years. And then fast forward now, working for Jennifer Lopez. I worked for Jennifer Lopez. I had a show on her network called The Collective on Nuvo TV, and it's just been a blessing from there. And actually, I'm doing an animation series now called Hey Vato, and I play. I'm going into voiceover now, so I'm going into like more doing voiceover work, and so I play a chola from East LA named Angie. It's a really cool character. You guys have to check it out. It's called Hey Vato.
Hey, can we get a little taste of Angie right here on Not Your Average Radio?
Yeah, Julie, you're stupid. You better hurry up and get out the bathroom right now. I gotta do my hair. Like, it's so crazy that I have to do this total East LA accent, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so hilarious. But yeah, it's really, really cool. But I play, I gotta do different accents. So for Hey Vato, I did, I'm doing an East LA, type of little slang. And then I did Grand Theft Auto 5 and I played a black gangbanger. So, I do it all.
Can we do can you still do the black gangbanger?
Yeah, it's so funny because right, like I'm Mexican and they got me to do this part, but I was like, you know what, screw it, I need a paycheck, I'm gonna do it. So I went in there and I read it, and it's like I play a black gangbanger from the Family's Gang in Grand Theft Auto 5, and so when you see me, like you'll see me say, "Watch out, motherfucker."
Hey, whatever pays the bills.
They have to do a lot of cussing over there.
Whatever pays the bills. That's what's up. I never knew that.
You know what? And that's true. I'm not. It's so funny because everybody's like, "Oh, Stacey, you did Grand Theft Auto 5. That's huge." But at times, I didn't know video games too much. All I knew was that they were cutting a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, how much? Oh, yeah, I can do this. So, but now I realize how big it is. Like, I'm part of a franchise that is $1 billion franchise. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Grand Theft Auto was really big. I used to play that. I used to. Anyways, that's what I have to go back to see if I have 5. So I guess see which one is you.
Oh, my God. Yeah, please, go.
That's what's up. All right, so be honest with you, you're just knocking out my questions. The J-Lo on the Nouveau TV, Grand Theft Auto 5, the book with Yesy Ortiz, you started in television, the Hey Vato. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, something else I came across. Las Vegas Hot 97.5.
You know what? I did radio in Vegas at Hot 97.5, and it's so funny because I ended up doing the night show. And let me tell you this little quick story. I was at a radio station in the IE called Wild 96.1. I was doing middays from 10 to 3. They had the night shift open from 7 to 12, and I kind of wanted to do the night shift because it just was a little bit like you have more freedom. You can rock out a little bit more. So I was like, I want to do this. And I was told by the program director at the time that nobody wants to hear a female at night in hip hop. Like, he was like, if it was any other station, CC, you'd probably hire it. But because we're a hip hop station, they just don't want females at night. So I was a little put off by that. And I was like, okay, I didn't take it too hard. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I ended up going to Vegas. They put me at night, which is so funny. They put me at night. And not only was I number 1 in Vegas, I was the top 5 in the country.
I saw that. I'm trying to go into the article that I saw that mentioned it. It also said that you made that into the number 1 station. And I don't know if they were just saying it, but it said they gave you the keys of the city. But I don't know if that's just an expression.
No. I met the mayor. Everything. I did a lot of work out there with a lot of different councilmen. So yeah, I was honored. It was so cool. And then also to making Hot 97.5 number 1 and number 1 at night. And it's so crazy because I was blown away when they said, Tiki, you're the top 5 night show in the whole United States. And I'm like, what? And I'm gonna be honest with you, Monkey, that was, to me, that was a big like F you to the person who said I couldn't do nights. I just proved to you that a female can do nights. I proved to you that a female can be number 1 in their own city. And I proved to you that she can be top 5 in the whole United States. So sometimes when people think that you can't do it, you just got to go out of your way, grind hard, and show them that you can.
And then when you do, I'm sure that feeling is just amazing. No other feeling in the world.
It is. But you know what's more amazing is being able to talk to listeners and touching them and really and letting them know that they get so much, they're affected by you. Like being able to really inspire and empower and make people feel good, that to me is amazing. I love interviewing artists. Don't get me wrong. I love interview artists, but there's nothing like sitting down with a listener and just chopping it up with them. That makes me feel good. When they say, "Cece, I turn on the radio and you make me so happy and you can change my mood," that makes me feel good. That I can really sit there and I can touch somebody that way. So I love it. I love proving people wrong, but I also love making people happy, and that's part of doing radio.
There it is. That's what's up, man. Thank you so much for this, Cece. I know you told me that you've been up since 4 a.m. It's already 11. How much more time are you gonna bless Not Your Average Radio?
Oh, listen, I'm here with you guys. If they want to ask me some questions, I'm open for it. I don't shy away from anything. One thing about me is you'll learn is that I'm very humble. Came from humble beginnings, so I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to really try to maintain your identity and stay real. And I know what it is to inspire people and to give back. So it's very important. Like, that's why even though I'm tired, even though, I do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, when people have questions, it's important for me to answer their questions. It's important for me to pay attention to them. You never know who you're helping.
There you go. Well, if you don't mind, let's play a little bit of music, and then we'll come back with a few questions. Again, listeners, you heard her. You have any questions, hit up my videos, hit up her, or whatever you guys want to do. If you have a question, she'll answer it right here on Not Your Average Radio. So let's get into some music.
Yes, just keep those questions clean. No dirty questions.
No dirty questions.
No dirty questions. I'll say bye, Lisa. But anything you need to know, I'm going to tell you. I'm an open book.
All right, we'll be right back with the one and only CeciliaTheMamacita right here on Not Your Average Radio.
Yo. We ain't playing around, we on the grind now. Been starving too long, we gonna eat now. I put my heart in this music so I can't sleep now. I put my heart in this music so I can't stop now.
All right, you know what it is, Not Your Average Radio, Big Homie Monski, Mixboxes.com. All right, we are back with the one and only CeciliaTheMamacita. What's up, girl?
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, she's still here, I promise you guys. I was like, hey, let me just play. I usually play about two tracks, and then I get back into the interview. But I was like, I know, we started the interview later than we said we were, and I'm sure you guys are anxious.
My bad.
It's not your fault. It's just, it is what it is. We know that you're very busy, so I do appreciate you taking time, and I'm sure the listeners appreciate you taking time to jump on Not Your Average Radio, for real.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. We've been talking a lot about, the radio, the television, everything that you've done, Grand Theft Auto, all that good stuff. I also see that you do like community service. I came across a video that you said that you do motivational speaking and stuff like that. The Boyle Heights Observatory. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I sit on the board of the Boyle Heights Art Observatory. It's a conservatory in the city of Boyle Heights. It's basically a music school where we teach kids different aspects of the music industry. We do everything from songwriting to producing a beat to editing to working in a radio station. We actually are creating a radio station for the city of Boyle Heights. We also talk about producing, doing online distribution. What we try to do is teach these kids that there's more to the music industry than just rapping and producing a beat. There's different aspects to the music industry, like radio, like, tour managing, like publishing. So, we give these students an opportunity, and it's a year program where they go through this program, and it's for free, and it's actually accredited through the state of California, so they do get full credit for it, and we teach them for free just what we've learned, what we've taken for granted, where we've had to hustle and really just teach our own. We're going and we're teaching the kids.
That's dope. That's really good. I wish they had that when I was trying to get into radio. Like you
that's
said.
What a lot of people said. Yeah, it is. And it's just so good because it's like, exactly, I wish we had it too when I got into radio. But you know what? This is what it takes. We have to show the next generation, how to do it right. And we need to take time. It's all about each one.
Yeah, and that's good. You're absolutely right. Like you're saying, you wish you had it, but since you didn't, you actually giving it to someone else. But so that, that just means that much more. That's what's up. You're doing good things, man.
Thank you.
And speaking about doing big things, I have to get back to the whole radio thing. I'm sorry. Since I'm a radio host and I'm really interested in that stuff. So KDAY, when I met you from just your posts and stuff like that, you were doing them like on the weekends, right? You were going live on the weekends. I saw recently you're doing the morning shows now, Monday through Friday. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm excited.
So how did that come about? Just the opportunity came around, or how did that come about?
It's been something that we've been working on for a while. I've been doing weekends, but now doing the morning show, and it's kind of cool because I'm basically the first girl to actually do the morning show, the first Latina at KDAY. So kind of cool, making a little history of my own. But it came about a few weeks ago, so I'm doing it now. So you can catch me every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 10. We play really good music, and we interview amazing artists. Tomorrow I actually have in the studio with me Bow Wow and Jermaine.
Oh, wow.
There
you go.
Artists that, with their caliber, I love interviewing artists, and I love, learning and finding out and picking their brains. So tomorrow I'm going to get a lot of achievement.
Oh, there it is. And you know what? I noticed that. I think I'm doing these interviews wrong because I did the interview with Kid Passion, and then you and I were talking a little bit, behind the scenes, I guess you can call it. And it's like, when I talk about asking questions, it's like right away, it's like, no personal questions. But you guys ask personal questions when it comes to the people you interview, right?
Yeah, you know what? I do try to stay respectful when I do my interviews. And one thing that I do take time with the artist. I say, okay, what is it that, and I really have to focus because you gotta get to the point with these interviews. So you're kind of like, what is it that you want me to push? What is it that you want me to focus on? And they'll tell you, this is what I want you to push. This is what we're focusing on. And then I tell them, what is it that you want me to stay away from? Is there anything that you don't want me to mention? And sometimes they'll tell me, and sometimes they're like, no, we're good. So I'm like, okay, but it's just out of respect for the artist, because you always want the artist to come back.
Of course, but at the same time, at the end of the day, this is entertainment, right? So you want to get that juicy cheeseman, like you said, you know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
how far
you
would
just got
you
to
go?
learn how to be respectful when you're doing it.
With all due respect,
That's
you got to start off with all due respect. With all due respect, what's up with you and so and so?
Exactly, right? No, I'll do that. I'll be like, so, let me talk about, the rumor is that you're dating so can we get into that? And sometimes they'll kind of laugh it off and brush it off, and then sometimes they'll talk about it. But there's just a fine line on being respectful.
All right. So yeah, that's something I learned, now that I'm interviewing, because I usually just do artists, underground artists, but now that I interview a couple people that actually do radio from KDAY and Power 106, I notice they're like, don't ask me any crazy questions. I'm like, okay, obviously that's something that you guys do, is ask crazy questions. So that I got to start doing that here on
you
Not
do.
Challenge Radio.
I think, at the same time, I think that's why when you do interview radio personalities, they are open to it. Like, I know you interviewed Kid Passion, and I love her, as a matter of fact, but we're very open to personal questions. Okay, we understand that that's part of the industry.
So I'm trying to, we have a little bit of time left with you, but I'm trying to dig up some cheeseman for you. I'm like, hey, so what's up with I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you.
What's up with who?
Nobody. I didn't say anything. I was just like, I was trying to get you to say something. I'm like, what's up with, and it got real quiet. Well, we all know about the homie Guap, man. Shout out to him, and I missed his birthday too, because I was doing the show with Young Baca and stuff like that. How did that go?
Yeah, well, it went really, really good. He had an amazing birthday party at Sway Lounge. Wow, we had a good time. Yeah, I'm in a relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for some time, and it's really cool because we're both in the entertainment industry, and we both complement each other, our work, our hustle. We're definitely bonding by. He helps me out with my business. I help him out with his. But yeah, I've been in a relationship over a year.
That's what's up. Yeah, and I also met the homie Guap over there at the B-side show. Really cool dude, really humble, and it's cool that he how do I say this? As a person as exposed as you, obviously you get a lot of people that are like, hey, what's up, girl? This and that. But it takes a really special person to be able to handle that as the other person. You know what I mean? But since he's kind of in the same business, I think he understands it. So that's dope.
Yeah, we both know. At the end of the day, we both know that work, and we go out there. But I also, it's funny that you say that, because yeah, you do get that from time to time in the industry. But at the same time, I also handle myself very well, and I think that I don't really give people too much room to get a little wild with me. I think when they meet me, they know I'm serious. They know about my business. And they know that I'm really focused. So I think it's just respected off top. And yeah, we don't really have any problems like that at all. It's actually a blessing. We don't have any problems with any of conflicts of who I'm interviewing and really what's going on. I really am passionate about my job. I'm passionate about my craft, and I am passionate about my brand. And I think that's something that I'm really, I think that separates really the A-listers from the people that are just trying to get in there. Like, if you're real serious about your craft, people are going to respect you. So I know, I have certain standards. There's certain things that I like, and there's certain people that I work with. There's people that I don't work with. Like, I've really got to focus on really reaching my goal and really be serious about it. So he loves it. He's part of the entertainment industry. What he does, so he's all for it.
There you go. That's what's up. I just remembered that we asked for questions, so I'm over here. I'm like, oh shit, let me look if I got any questions. But I think everybody's just listening to us talking. Where are the questions at, people? Where are the questions at? We need some juicy questions.
They're like, okay, hold on, she's answering everything off top.
I know. I think you've been through enough interviews that you're like, all right, they're gonna ask me this. Like I told you, you're just talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm crossing out my list of stuff to ask. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
So oh, never mind. I just got a message from my brother-in-law, the big homie Big Louie. Anyways, he's kind of out there, so I'm afraid when he texts me, I'm like, oh shit, what is he gonna say? But anyways,
hey, Big Louie.
Big Louie. Never mind. I was gonna tell you what I used to call him. That's why I changed his name to Big Louie, because it sounds manlier. But anyways, that's besides the point. You're talking about a question that I came up with while you were talking. Is you're talking about different artists that you've interviewed. Obviously, tomorrow you're gonna do Bow Wow, Jermaine Dupri. Who haven't you interviewed that you would like to interview?
Oh my goodness, I'm trying. You know what? And they're really not an artist. The actress.
Whatever. Who anybody that you would like to interview that you haven't?
Mariska Carter Gay from Law and Order. I'm a big Law and Order fanatic, and I really want to interview her as an actress. Like, that's just somebody that's just a personal, like, I watch TV show, and I'm like, oh my God, any chance I get to interview her, I will. I've interviewed everybody, though, from Fat Joe to 50 Cent to Chris Brown. As a matter of fact, I was one of the first radio personalities on the West Coast to interview Chris Brown when he first came out.
Oh, okay,
so,
that's what's up.
Yeah, and the funny story is that they come up to me. I'm doing middays at Wow 96. They're like, listen, my program director at the time, Mike Fuentes, was like, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to interview this kid called Chris Brown, like, just coming out with things. And I was kind of mad because I never heard of him before. And I was like, why you gotta give me all the no names? So I'm like, how come Chris Close gets all the good interviews and I get like all the no names? So I was upset, and I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I interviewed him, and then and he was super young. He just came out, and so I interviewed him, and it went really well. And then maybe a week and a half later, I'm watching MTV, and he's on there, and I'm like, yo, I just interviewed him, and now he's like this big star, and I'm like, this is so crazy. So sometimes you just never know.
That's true. That's good. See, you interviewed him before he was even a star, so you're like, hey, I got him first.
Yeah, it's so funny. And one of the people that I interviewed before they even first came out was Pitbull. I interviewed Pitbull when I was at LATV, and that was like 12, 13 years ago. I didn't know who he was. I was just interviewing Yin Yang Twins, and so the record label was like, hey, listen, we got this new artist. His name is Pitbull. Would you interview him for us? And I was like, nah, I only came to interview the Yin Yang Twins. I never heard of him. I was like, this is the only interview I want to get. And they're like, please do us this solid. He's here. And he was standing there, and he was kind of quiet. So I was like, I was a little upset about it, but I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And I was like, I told the cameraman, I said, 3 questions and we're out. And he was like, all right. But Pitbull was such an amazing interview that I ended up interviewing him for almost 30 minutes. Yeah, and I was like, wow, this guy is really going to go somewhere. And he was so polite. He was so thorough. He was so professional, and he interviewed so well. And now, he's like one of the biggest stars in the world. It's crazy how something just happened.
So I see a trend happening here. If you get interviewed by CeciliaTheMamacita in the beginning of your career, you're going to blow up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at CeciliaTheMamacita.
There it is. So I need to get an interview. Hey, how do I get an interview from you? Because, I'm starting this radio stuff. I'm trying to blow up. So you need to interview me. We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, let's do that.
So you've done TV. You've done, obviously everything that we already talked about. What is your future goal? What is something that, within a year or a couple years, what do you want to accomplish? Since you've already done so much, what is CeciliaTheMamacita wants to do in the future?
You know what? I really want to work on a children's book. I'm coming out with my first book ever, so this is my first time, now I have an author, title author under my belt. But I kind of want to focus maybe on a children's book, and I want to go, I would love to continue speaking and motivating people. I did a high school tour with Steve LaBelle, and Steve LaBelle is a legendary manager in the hip-hop game, and I loved it. We did this high school tour called We Work It. It turned out great. It just kind of fed my passion. I was like, that's something I could do. So I love traveling. I really do. I love going out there, and I just love one-on-one and teaching people and them learning through my story, and to let people know, I'm real. I'm very real. I'm Latina. I'm in the hip-hop game. I grew up in LA. I struggled just like everybody else. But if you stay focused and if you really, learn your craft and pay attention, you can get somewhere. You really, really can. And you can't let anybody hate on you. You can't let anybody tell you no, because sometimes, you're going to get the no's, especially from your family. You know what I mean? Sometimes your biggest haters are your family.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point.
Yeah, and here's my thing. Let me clarify that too. Sometimes it's not that. It's just that maybe they don't understand where you're going with this, so they're not as supportive. But when that happens, you have to believe in yourself. That's when you're gonna have to learn. When nobody else believes in you, you gotta believe in yourself.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I don't know if it comes from a Latino background, because Latinos are very culturized. You have to have a job. You have to be a hard worker. You have to, if you're a woman, you have to be a cook. You got to do, laundry. Even me, you're doing this little stupid radio station. You're wasting your time. You should be focused on, getting another job and this and that. And it's like when I meet artists, they're like, oh man, Monski, thank you for for playing my record. Thank you for motivating me. This and that. So you usually get more support from strangers than your own family sometimes. But it's all good.
That happens. But at the end of the day, when I first started radio, my mom couldn't stand it, and she was like, oh my God, my daughter's trying to find herself. And so she didn't understand it because that's not where we come from. We're second, third generation. And so our parents don't understand it because all they know is get a job, work a 9 to 5, get your benefits. You know what I mean? And that's what they want from us. But because we grew up in a different society, you know, we our dreams are a little bit bigger. And so maybe sometimes they fear for us on that. But at that point, you just got to keep running. Now that I have the success that I have, and my mom gets to see the fruits of my labor, she's very supportive. And she didn't understand it. You know, I'm the first person in the family to really focus on the entertainment industry. You know, I was the first person to really say, listen, this is what I want to do. And even though everybody was like, what are you doing? Like, what? Now they get it. But it took me a while to prove to my mother, this is what I'm doing. And Mom, I can really actually make some real money doing this. You know, so now that she sees it, she's like, she's so proud and tells everybody I'm on the radio and she listens and she even tries to critique me now.
She's like, hey, you should do this better. All of a sudden, she's a professional radio host.
She does. Mija, I didn't like when you said that word. Maybe you can say this. And I'm just like, okay, Mom. So, you know, sometimes they turn around, but you just have to understand that you just gotta just keep going. And if this is what you really want, then go for it.
That's what's up. Yeah, and that's exactly what you said. I saw an interview you did with Hustle TV, and you said that the most important thing is that you believed in yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's very important, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you can't expect anybody else to believe in you. You know what I mean?
That's true. And I do say that, and I stick with that. And it's not only saying it, because it's easy to say, like, oh, yeah, I got to believe in myself. But when the time comes and nobody else believes in you, and you really got to put that to the test, it's hard. Yeah, you know what I mean? You do doubt yourself sometimes. And there's moments where I have doubted myself. You know, I have been like, can I really pull this off? But, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times I am fearless in the way that I am. Like, I'll jump into it and I'll be like, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to see what happens with it. But, you know, as long as you, like I said, you stay focused, as long as you learn your craft and you really are open to people teaching you, I'm okay.
There you go. You heard it from CeciliaTheMamacita herself, man. I'm over here looking for some questions. You guys are I think they're just enjoying the conversation, the knowledge that you're dropping. I am, at least, too, you know, so I see something.
Yeah, I mean, and you can use that either way. It doesn't matter if you're a radio personality. It doesn't matter if you own a record label or, you know what I mean, you're managing a restaurant. At the end of the day, whatever it is that you do, just make sure that you love what you're doing. Make sure that you're happy at what you're doing, because at the end of the day, that's what's important. And I really take that from me. I love the fact that I do radio. I love the fact that I can go in the studio. If you read my posts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you'll see that I say, like, being in the studio is where I feel the most comfortable. I could have a really, really bad day and go in the studio, and 10 minutes later it's gone, because I really do love and my job, and I get immersed in it. So, you know, they say, you know, when you love what you do, it's not really work. You know?
That's true. That's absolutely right. And you're right, because, you know, when I first started doing interviews, you know, obviously I started interviewing artists, but now, I'm interviewing people that are doing radio. Next week, I'm going to interview the homegirl, Vanessa from Gaviota Tequila. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's doing the grind, we want to know, you know, we want to know what motivates you, what keeps you going, because no matter what you're doing, at the end of the day, you know, you still have to motivate yourself. Like you said, when nobody else believes in you, what makes you believe in yourself? And it's basically loving what you do.
Yeah. And honestly, too, like, my thing is you never know who's listening. You never know. Sometimes, like, it's so crazy. We'll get, like, you know, one time we were on air and we played a song and Khloe Kardashian tweeted it. And everybody's like, oh my God, she tweeted the song, and we just played it out like she's listening. And I was just talking on the radio. It's like, you just don't know who's listening. It's like, oh, wow, okay. I forget sometimes because I'm in the studio and I forget, like, people are actually really, like, they're tuned in. So it is cool. And what you're doing with your radio show is really important, because you give artists and you give people out there that are doing something in the community, you give them a platform, and I think we need more of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that coming from you. I'm really honored for you to say that. Thank you. Yeah, that's what we do. You know, we're giving someone a platform to do their thing, and like you said, you know, you love what you do, but nothing like someone coming up to you or just chopping it up with one of your listeners and just, you know, getting their feedback, stuff like that. And I completely understand that, because once, you know, you get those artists that are trying to do their thing, and when nobody else believes in their dream and they're about to give up for some reason, I find them on Twitter, I find them on Instagram, and I'm like, hey, I'll play your music. And they're like, what? As soon as they get their radio, you know, their track spin on Not Your Average Radio, it sparks that fire again, man. So that's got to be the best feeling.
And that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? That you're able to do that and you're able to inspire when you're going. And, you know, doing interviews I love doing interviews. I really do. And I love sitting down talking to people. So, and the trick to an interview is so simple. And it's so funny, because I really do believe that each one. My mentor taught me that the trick to doing interviews is just paying attention. That's it. Because I used to have like all the questions written down, and I'd be like, okay, question 1, question 2, question 3, and he's like, yo, T, don't do that. He was like, pay attention to what they're saying and go with it, and it'll take you to the next question. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I started learning that too, and it does help out with the flow. So, and that's just my little pointers right there, too.
There you go. Hey, as we're doing an interview with CeciliaTheMamacita, she's schooling me. I'm taking notes. But you're absolutely right. I've learned, I've been doing this for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, that doing interviews, everybody's different. Obviously, at your level, you're interviewing people that probably have done thousands of interviews already. At my level, this is probably their first interview. So it's like, I'll have, I got to do my homework. I have like 3, 4, 5 questions. So sometimes you get an artist that talks, and then obviously, like you said, just listening to them, you can come up with another question because they'll mention something like, oh, this one time I went to this show and I met this person, and you kind of like, oh, let me ask you about that person or whatever. But you have an artist that be like, hey, tell me about your album, and they'll be like, oh, it's called Fighter.
And that's it.
Oh,
you're like,
okay.
You don't elaborate?
Yeah. Okay. So about that.
And I'll do that too sometimes. I'll be like, you want to elaborate on that for me, please? And sometimes that's just what it is too. Like as radio personalities, we have to try and get out of them. I love artists that are seasoned because I can go in with the questions and they just run with it and they just know what they're saying and it's a great flow. And then there's some artists that, like you said, you got to pull from them and you got to make them elaborate. And nowadays people don't, artists, they don't know how to do interviews. They sit there and they'll do one-word answers. It's like the days are gone where somebody actually sits there and teaches them, like, no, this is how you need to do an interview. This is how you have to hold yourself. I try, though, with, like, when I was doing the Beachside show, I think that was one thing that I did talk to a lot of artists about was, trying to help them just kind of hone up on their interview skills and just sharpen their tools a little bit more.
That's absolutely right. That's right. So that's dope. Again, we have CeciliaTheMamacita. It is, we've been on here for, we've been on the phone for about 50 minutes already.
See how it is?
It just goes by fast. We're having a good time. You know what? I know you've been really busy, and I'm sure you're tired. You have to wake up tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna let you go. I do appreciate you taking time. You're always welcome to come back to Not Your Average Radio whenever you have more time and school me. I got a lot of journals that need to be filled with knowledge. So I do appreciate you taking time.
You just let me know. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow morning from 6 to 10. We're gonna have Jermaine Dupri, Bow Wow in the studio at 7. So we'll be talking, movies. We'll be talking music, new singles, and of course we'll be talking about Bow Wow, his new engagement to Erica Mena. I'm definitely gonna question him about that. So make sure you guys are tuned in. And thank you so much for supporting me. You can always follow me on Instagram at CeciliaTheMamacita. And, I follow back.
There you go. Let's get into some music. I'll be right back right here on Not Your Average Radio. Again, thank you so much, CeciliaTheMamacita, for jumping on the interview on Not Your Average Radio.